everyone, and welcome to Positive Monday. I'm Yiming from Learning and Development Department. Today we have our senior trainer, Harry Yeo, to share with us on the emotional side of problem solving. Without further ado, let's welcome Harry.
Okay, thank you, Yiming. All right, welcome everyone. Today's topic is about problem solving. No matter how clever we are, we will encounter problems. Question is, how do you solve the problems happily? So let us start. Some of us know me, some may not know me. Let me introduce again. My name is Harry Yeo. I got an MBA degree from Oklahoma City University. A string of other qualifications, 46 years of work experience, 23 years in commercial sector, and another 23 years in teaching sector. Still teaching, huh? Okay, let us start. The learning objective of this Positive Monday talk is to give you a good understanding of emotional side of problem solving. Emotional side, so we talk about feelings of the customers. By applying this problem solving skills, you will have a happy relationship with your customers, and therefore you will have repeat business. So you will learn about problem solving skills through active listening. That's very important, through active listening. Problem solving through self-regulation. Problem solving through positive language, and problem solving through the use of empathetic skills. Big words, but it's very easy to understand. So let us start. Number one, who is Dale Carnegie? Well, Dale Carnegie is an American writer, a pioneer in the field of self-development. And he wrote a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. 15 million copies have been sold. And Dale Carnegie says, when dealing with people, remember, you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but creatures of emotion. So when you and I deal with a customer, we are dealing with people at the feelings level, not logical, but we are dealing with a heart. Remember, you're dealing with people who have feelings, and they are based their decisions on feelings. Emotions are feelings. So you're not talking about logic, but about the heart of the person. What is a problem? A problem is a question raised for consideration so that we can find a solution. Will you face problems? Yes, no matter how clever you are, you will face problems in your real estate work. That is normal. All right. And let's pretend that out of 10 cases, one case will be a problem case. It can be solved. So 10% of 10 cases is one problem case. If you got many cases, 100 cases, 10% of 100 is 10 problem cases. So the more problem cases we have, that means the more sales you make, the more money you make. So in spite of all your efforts, you will still encounter problem in real estate. Hey, how come? I tell you why. You rent out a place to the tenant, 5-room flat, and he used it for sex trade without your knowledge. And then neighbors complain, police come and raided the place. Agent, come for interview. How come you rent this place for sex trade? No, I did not. Then you got to answer, is it? So it's not your problem, but because of the tenant, it's your problem. You rent the place and the tenant use the place, the condo for Airbnb. Rent out for 7 days, 2 weeks. Under URA law, minimum must be 3 months rent. Agent, why you rent for 2 weeks, huh? Not me. How come your tenant is renting for 2 weeks? You don't check one, I say, you rent out your place to husband and wife, executive apartment. Without your knowledge, they bring in another 12 other subtenants. Overcrowding. HDB raided the place. Owner, come for interview. Why you rent out to 15? Agent, why you rent out to 15 people? No, we only rent out to 2. Your tenant without your permission, sublet. It's your problem. Your tenant created the problem, becomes your problem. You answer to HDB, you answer to CEA. The tenant rented 4-room flat, but bring in overstayers because of immigration overstayers. The tenant goes to jail. Hey, why you going to rent the overstayers? You never check. You see? So if you do rental, you do sales, no matter how clever you are, you will encounter problems. So it's okay. With more problems, as you do more sales, you make more money. Our job as property agents is to solve problems, no problem. So the list can go on and on. So problem solving means taking a number of steps to find a solution. If there's a problem, you must find a solution. Otherwise, it's still there, it will disturb you. You will clear the problem. So it's a process. You must find the answer to your problem. All right. So it's a series of actions you must take to overcome the problem. So solution is the answer. If you have a problem, you must find the answer. Then life goes on smoothly. In the process, you will make your money. So problem solving requires analysis and solution. Let me go slowly. So remember first, when you're dealing with people, we, the agents, are always dealing with people. Remember, you're not dealing with the logic, you're dealing with the heart. You're dealing with the heart because creatures of emotions. So you must deal with them at the heart level, not at the head level. Problem solving through active listening. Your agent is very rude, shouted at my husband. So the company said, Harry, solve the problem. So I called the agent, come for interview. I called the clients because the customer says, we give you 3 days to solve the problem. You know, we go to CEA. So when they come, I sit down, I listen to the customer, I listen to the agent. Listen actively to find out what is the real problem. If you can define the problem, you can find the solution. So the first part, when you're dealing with people who are angry, is to touch the heart, show attention, listen actively. That is called active listening. So under the code of ethics, we have the code of practice. It says that where there is a complaint, we must ask the complainant to come to office and try to find a happy solution. If we cannot find a happy solution, then we take the next steps. So also at the meeting, your agent is rude. I must listen to the client. I must listen to the agent for explanation and try to. So it's active listening. What is active listening? You think you know? It's different. Listening to the customer carefully to find out what is the real problem. Remember, when your customer complains, you must listen actively. Don't go in a hurry to think how to answer. Listen carefully. So how do you listen? You listen with your ears. Only ears, man? No. When you listen with more than your ears. What is active listening?
Think about how much information you get every day from listening. Your boss, your colleagues, your clients, and your suppliers may communicate with you often. So will your family and friends. How much of what all these people say do you pay attention to? How much are you actually remembering from these conversations? Chances are it's a lot less than you think. A lot of times we act as if we're listening to the other person, but the reality is that our minds are racing to other topics or already planning what we're going to say in return. This means that we can miss important things that the other person is saying. Active listening is when you make a conscious effort to hear and understand people so that you get the complete message. There are several things you can do to become an active listener. First, you need to pay attention. We know this is a bit obvious, but it's the most important part of active listening. For instance, make eye contact with the person talking to you. Ignore outside factors like other conversations so that you can focus solely on what the person is saying. Most importantly, Put your own thoughts on hold. Resist the urge to start planning out what you're going to say in return. You also need to show the other person that you're listening to them. You can nod your head, smile, and say yes occasionally. All of these signals let the other person know you're still with them. Providing feedback on what the other person has just said is another important part of active listening. For instance, all of us hear information through our own personal filters and judgments. This can affect our understanding. To make sure you heard and understood the message correctly, paraphrase it or repeat it back to the person. You can also ask questions to get more information, but make sure that you listen to what they're saying before you plan your response. You also need to avoid interrupting when they are speaking. Once they're finished, you can respond appropriately and with an honest answer or opinion. Active listening is a skill that all of us should use more often. The better you are at listening, the more information you'll receive. This can pay off with big rewards in your career and strengthen your bonds with family and friends. You can find out more about active listening in the article that accompanies.
Active listening. You must listen to the other
Think about
side.
how much.
All right. So what you say is that you must pay attention. Your agent is very rude to my husband over the phone. So when the customer comes, I listen and have eye contact with the customer. Then I listen to the agent. Agent, what have you got to say to this allegation? And from there, I listen to both sides and try to find a happy solution. So when I listen, I pay attention. I look at the customer. Pay attention to the customer. Make eye contact. You cannot listen with someone. Okay, then the phone rang. Talk. Okay, I'm listening. That is very rude. How can you listen and talk at the same time? 100% attention. Have eye contact with the customer because you're dealing with customers who are creatures of emotions. So show to them that you're paying attention. Have eye contact. That's very important, huh? And provide feedback. So what you are saying is that my agent shouted at your husband over the phone, but my agent says that it's a way of speaking. So what you are saying is that, am I correct? That is called feedback. Don't interrupt. Listen. Just listen to what the person say, and it's very important. When your customer is angry, just listen. Don't interrupt, and then you listen. And then from there, you can understand and then give your feedback. How do you listen? I listen with my ears. That is not enough. You must also listen with your eyes. Eyes can listen, man. That means when I talk to you, I must have eye contact with you. See you eye to eye. See your facial expression and your body expression. From there, I can interpret and understand you. So you listen not only with your ears, you listen with your eyes. And more than that, you listen with your brain. When your customer is talking, you are processing the information. And that is not good enough. You must also listen with your heart. I can feel you. I understand how you feel. If I were in your shoes, I would also be angry. How can the agent shout at the customer? So this is called empathizing. So you must listen with your ears, listen with your eyes, listen with your brain, and more importantly, listen with your heart. So active listening is a total personal listening, not just with your ears. Remember, you're dealing with creatures of emotions. So listen with your ears, with your mind, with your eyes, and with your heart. You know the Chinese symbol for listen? Look at the word here. I listen with your ears. I listen with your eyes. I give you undivided attention, and I give you an open heart. So this is the Mandarin symbol for the word to listen. Listen with eyes, ears, and your heart, and give me your undivided attention. Eyes to see, heart to feel. Give me your undivided 100% attention. Ears to hear, and mind to think. So remember, when you are dealing with a customer, listen. Even in selling situation, listen so that you can understand the needs and then you can provide the solution. Don't jump to conclusion and just push your product to your customer. Active listening is a technique whereby we can learn to acquire. Remember, listen with your ears, with your eyes, with your heart, and with your mind. Active listening involves observing the speaker's facial expression and body language as well, so that you can understand what they don't say. Once you understand, the next step is to provide a solution. So eye contact is important for active listening. All right. So remember, the first part is that you're dealing with people, you must give 100% attention. Listen with your heart, with your eyes, with your brain, and with your ear. That is the first part, because you give attention to your customer, he feels honored and important. That would diffuse the tension to some extent. But having listened, your agent is so angry, so rude. No, I'm not so angry. Yes, I'm angry. Hey, are you going for a fighting match, a shouting match? You are here to solve the problem. Agent, don't show your temper here. Of course, my agent didn't show temper. You must control. No, he said the wrong thing. It's not for you to fight. Now it's time for you to listen and get a solution. So you must learn to control your feelings. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself. Master your heart. Control your anger. Master your mind. That is true power. You must learn to control yourself. Control your heart, your anger, and your mind. Because if you don't control your feelings, you will get into big trouble. The best fighter is never angry. Hey, what do you mean? We all get angry, Of course, you miss a point. A great warrior is one who can control his anger and make rational decisions in times of war. You are a great warrior. Each time you go to the field, you are in a war field. You must control your feelings, control your anger, and connect with the client, even though the guy is rude to you. That is where self-mastery is important. Self-regulation, self-control, emotion. Your clients got feelings, you also got feelings. But you got no right to release your feelings on your clients, because he is your customer. The customer is always right, unless you do not want it with the customer. So you must manage your feelings. Even if you're angry, you are a best fighter. You never show your anger. You control your feelings and try to find a good solution. Self-control, because if you don't control, you may end up in jail.
60 days and your bloody immigration knows about it. Because of your fucking immigration, I missed one flight and your fucking immigration put me. Like, you need to come back with the full money. So now I have the full money, you take the money. What? Yes, to take the fucking money and get lost. I'm your fucking mother. Go to immigration office.
Circle policy.
You told me. This bloody immigration told me to come back with the money. Why else fucking immigration didn't tell me anything else? What? I'm your fucking son. You are paying for this fucking flight. You bastards told me to bring the money. Why don't you bastards tell me anything else? And show your fucking camera. And show your face in that camera.
This is my office.
Yeah, this is your office. Show your face.
What? Hey, you are now in people's country, and you slap the immigration officer. That shows that if someone cannot control the feeling, will end up in jail. You will listen to the video. How many times she used those F language? What? All the fish language come out. What about you? When you are angry, do you use 4-letter words? Control your anger. Do not release any 4-letter words. And do not resort to violence, because it will not solve the problem. Emotional level. She could not control her anger and she used a lot of dirty words. And she slapped the immigration officer. You dare to go to people's country and slap the officer? then the judge will slap her with 6 months jail. Now you go to jail, think about it. You come out and slap again, they give 6 years jail. Why? I cannot control my anger. Of course you can. I'm like that long, then go to jail. You're dealing with customer. Control your anger. Emotional side of problem solving. Do not release your anger. So learning point is this. When faced with unhappy situations, and we all face unhappy situations, keep our emotions in check. Control your feelings. Control your anger. For some people, violence is the way of life. They beat up people. And some husband, not happy, go and beat up the wife. Hey, what kind of husband are you? You're supposed to love your wife and not beat your husband, your wife, I'm like that one, no? When I'm angry, I beat up everyone. Then go to jail, no? Don't shout and scold. Talk nicely, can, no? Be more civilized. And do not resort to physical violence because you may end up in jail. We must learn. Learning points that we must control our emotions. Talk is cheap, but you must do it. If you can control your feelings, you are the best fighter. Just so it's not easy to be the best fighter. You are in the war zone. Control your feelings, regardless of what the other party does. Shout or what, they use bad words, you don't use bad words. He shout, you don't shout back. If we allow our emotions to run wild, we will be in big trouble. And so that's what happened. Agent beat up the customer. One property agent had poor self-control. He was angry and beat up the customer where? HDB Hub. Hey, that's where CEA is. You beat up the customer there. CEA, this is from CEA. Bringing disrepute by physically assaulting the client in HDB. The agent represented the seller to sell HDB property. That's good news, right? You represent the seller. The agent allegedly advanced the seller a loan of 5,000. Oh, so you lend money to your customer, is it, in order to get exclusive? Hey, don't you know that you are not supposed to lend money to customer? How can you lend money to customer to get exclusive? That is wrong because under CEA's law, you cannot give inducement to your client. The agent lent money of $5,000 to the client sometime in November 2011 for the sale of property. But the deal burst. And the customer didn't return the money in November. March 2012, 4 months later, the seller had gone to a lawyer's office. HDB Hub. The seller go to HDB Hub to collect money from the successful sale. So now the seller has sold the property through another agent. Go and collect the money. The agent was also going to the same lawyer's office to collect his commission. Hey, he saw the customer. The seller was exiting, was leaving the lift on the ground floor lift lobby of HDB Hub. When the agent saw him, the agent grabbed him by the collar and shouted at him, "Pay me back the money." The agent then dragged the seller to the bus interchange. As he was dragging, the agent took the handphone and hit his head many times with a mobile phone. "Pay me back my money, pay me back my money." The seller finally managed to escape. How? By jumping onto the back of a slow-moving lorry. Like Channel 5 movie, jump at the back of a slow-moving lorry. Then he escaped. He went to Tan Tock Seng Hospital to get treatment. All right, the seller was given hospitalization leave. Now, the agent faced the following charge. Number 1, for conduct which may bring disrepute, bad name to the estate agency industry by physically assaulting your client, hitting me on the head repeatedly. That is breach of code of ethics, paragraph 7.1. The agent pleaded guilty. "Yes, I'm sorry. I am guilty." And the district committee, which is a court hearing, in closed court hearing, imposed a penalty of $5,000, suspension of 9 months, and pay a legal cost of 1,000 court hearing. Because he failed to control his feelings, beat the customer, fine $5,000, 9 months suspension. For the next 9 months, you cannot practice as an agent. If you practice without license, fine and jail. Why did the agent get into trouble? Cannot control feelings, huh? I got to beat my customer because he don't pay me back. You think you can take the law into your own hands, is it? So that's a breach of code of ethics. By doing this kind of physical assault, the agent has brought disrepute to the industry. He was fined 5,000 and suspended 9 months. If you were CEA, will you cancel his license? Maybe. So the learning point is that we must learn to control our feelings all the time. Because if you don't control your feelings, you let your feelings run wild, you will be in trouble. Remember, we are all creatures of emotions. We must control our emotions because we are the best fighter, never angry one. The other side can be angry. You know, look at it. If someone owes you 5,000, you got to take appropriate legal action, but not go and physically hit people, man. You are a professional agent. How can you beat someone in HDB hub? I cannot control myself, huh? Then go to jail. Oh. Problem solving through positive language. Your agent shouted at me. Well, he can shout at you. You must use positive language to solve the problem. Positive language. What is positive language? There are two types of language. One is languages, positive and negative. Positive language. Communicate positively. Use words like that build relationship. Use polite words. For example, please, that's positive. Thank you. I understand how you feel. If I were in your shoes, I would feel the same. I will do this. This is what I can do. Cannot, I can't. I apologize. These are positive words that will diffuse the tension and help you find a solution. Use positive words.
They have come out twice before, and still all I get is static. I pay good money for premium channels, so is it too much to ask that I might actually get to watch when I feel like it?
I can certainly see why you're upset, Mr. Fisk. These kind of situations can be very frustrating.
Well, that's brilliant. That is just brilliant. The city sure hires the best and the brightest, don't they?
When I'm faced with unhappy customers, I do my best to keep my emotions in check, which can be especially challenging if they're being abusive.
Primazoid finishes his lunch break.
Another important step in dealing with difficult customers is to use positive language. Instead of saying what you can't do, focus on what you can do for the customer.
Because I was about to lose it.
All right, here's what I can do for you. All right, I can contact the help desk manager personally and see why they're having a problem getting your service restored.
People are going to get angry. Conflicts do happen. So stay professional. Use your head instead of getting angry back at them.
It's just so hard when they blame you for everything.
Try to think of it as you and the customer working together as a team. You know, you and me against the problem.
Yeah, but how do you get to that point of working together if they're mad at you from the very beginning?
Well, if you use your basic customer service skills, sometimes you can turn it around before it even becomes a confrontation. Like yesterday.
What happened yesterday?
First, I always greet the customer in a friendly way, regardless of their attitude. Hi, how are you today?
Well, my day is going downhill fast, thanks in no small part to you guys.
I'm sorry.
Here it is. I got stuck making the arrangements for the finals, and you guys messed up the reservation.
Next, I try and connect in some way. You know, find some common humanity. Wow, it sounds like you really have your hands full.
You have no idea. I don't know what I was thinking when I agreed to handle.
Finally, really listen to the customer. Give them your full attention. Customers need to feel like someone is listening and understands their problem.
But we only ended up using the field on Saturday. But now I've got to...
I found that when I treat the customer with respect, regardless of how they're treating me, that goes a long way towards calming them down.
But you have no idea how these people get about this stuff.
Well, it says here that you reserved the field for 2 days over the weekend, but I will be more than happy to research this and see what we can do for you.
Ask short, guiding questions to clarify the situation.
We usually send notices before we start any work. Do you remember getting anything in the mail about your trees needing to be trimmed?
Well, maybe a couple, but I didn't really read them. Honestly, I didn't think they'd just come in and do it.
What day did you say your trees got trimmed?
Last Friday they started first thing. Must have been 7:30 a.m.
Find something to agree with. This puts you on the customer side.
That's early. I didn't think they started before 8.
Tell me about it.
As you work with the customer to find a solution, remember to use positive language.
Well, let me start by giving you this guide to city services. There's a whole section on trees and shrubs, what the residents' responsibilities are, and what we can do for you.
Move the customer into more positive territory by having them make small decisions along the way.
There's this form that you can fill out a written complaint. Or if you prefer, we can ask the operations manager to give you a call back as a first step.
No, I don't want to fool with any forms. Just have your manager call me, I guess.
Finally, as you work towards a solution, know what you can offer.
Oh, we can also submit your request to the community ombudsman for an independent review.
What does that cost?
Oh, it's a free service for handling citizens' complaints.
Well, I might not need to go that far.
Tell you what, why don't you go over that information, and I will ask the operations manager to give you a call as soon as he gets back in the office.
That sounds fair enough. Thanks for your help.
You bet.
So from this video, we can learn when dealing with angry customers, keep your emotions in check. Control your anger. Do not fight back. Okay? And greet the customer. Stay professional. Keep your cool, even though the other side is unreasonable. They may raise the voice. It's fine because you're a good fighter. You always control your feelings. Listen with your full attention. Listen with your ears, with your eyes and your mind and your heart. Full attention and ask short guiding questions. Connect with the customer. Agree. Yes, I agree that, they came too early. Connect. Yes, what you say is correct. Connect with the customer. That will reduce the anger and frustrations. And then know what you can offer. Use positive language. This is what I can do to help you. Help you is positive language. All right, so these are very important. Use positive language. Avoid negative communication. Where there's positive language, there is negative language. Avoid negative communication. For example, you don't understand. You don't see my point of view, huh? Wait a minute. Don't tell me what to do. These are negative communication. You will only make things worse because you make the other party angry. You are here to solve the problem at the emotional level. Don't hit back the customer so that you feel nice. That's wrong approach. Use positive communication, not negative communication. Remember, it's not what you say, but how you say it. You talk to your wife. Hey, where's my lunch, huh? Why is it so salty? Can talk nicely or not? Dear, where's my lunch? It's a bit salty. That's okay. It's the way you talk. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. Remember that. It's how you say it that makes it important. It's very important that.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess. I'd like an answer to the question, Judge. The court will wait for an answer.
Lieutenant Kendrick already called you at dinner because that's what you told Lieutenant Kendrick to do.
Object! When it went bad, you cut these guys loose! Your Honor, you had Marcus inside the phony transfer. Your Honor, you doctored the logbook. Yeah, can't go worse to doctor. Consider yourself a lieutenant. Colonel Jessup, did you order the code red? You don't have to answer that question. I'll answer the question. You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! Son, we live in a world that has walls, and those walls have to be guarded by men with guns. Who's gonna do it? You, Lieutenant Weinberg? I have a greater responsibility than you can possibly fathom. You weep for Santiago and you curse the Marines. You have that luxury. You have the luxury of not knowing what I know. That Santiago's death, while tragic, probably saved lives. And my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives. You don't know the truth because deep down in places you don't talk about at parties, you want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. We use words like honor, code, loyalty. We use these words as the backbone of a life spent defending something. You use them as a punchline. I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide, and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to. I did the job. Did you order the code red? You're goddamn right I did.
Did you order code red? You're damn right I did. Is the man now speaking? Did you order code red? You're damn right I did. When you're angry, it's different. Did you order code red? You're damn right I did. Now, do you speak to your wife, to your children like that? Do you speak to your client like that? Of course, it will make things worse. It's not what you say, it's how you say that's very important. Remember that you're dealing with creatures of emotion. Don't talk down at people. They will be irritated now. So, positive communication, avoid negative communication, is not what you say. It's how you say it that makes a difference. It's how you say it that makes a difference. Finally, you're dealing with people, and people have feelings. You must learn to see things from their point of view. Learn to empathize. Put yourself in their shoes. That is called empathy. Empathy means being able to share the views and the feelings of the other people. Stand in their shoes so that you can sense how they feel. You can see things from their eyes. And if you can see that, you can learn to empathize and be softer in your approach. So remember that you must learn to empathize.
I recently came across this image and story and had to share it with you. The man in this picture doesn't know that there is a snake underneath. The woman doesn't know that there is a stone crushing the man. The woman thinks, I am going to fall, and I can't climb because the snake is going to bite me. Why can't he use a little more strength and pull me up? The man thinks, I am in so much pain, yet I'm still pulling you as much as I can. Why doesn't she try and climb a little harder? The moral is, you can never see the pressure the other person is under, and the other person can't see the pain you're in. This is life. Whether it's with work, family, feelings, or friends, we should try to understand each other a little more. Try to see the situation from the other person's point of view. Put yourself in their shoes. Learn to think differently. Be more open to other perspectives and opinions. A little kindness and patience goes a long way. Everyone we meet is fighting their own battle, some you will never hear about. You may wish other people would be more understanding and compassionate and helpful to you, so be all those things for other people. Lori Deshen once gave some priceless advice. She said, practice the pause. Pause before assuming. Pause before accusing. And pause whenever you're about to react harshly. You might avoid saying things you'll later regret. Be kind to each other.
Empathy, to put yourself in the other person's shoes. The woman thinks, I'm going to fall and I can't climb because a snake is going to bite me. Why can't he use a little more strength to pull me up? Because she can't see the stone crushing him. The man thinks, I'm in so much pain, yet I'm pulling as much as I can. Why doesn't she try and climb a little harder? See, both can't see each other's point of view. So the learning point is this. Empathy is an attempt to understand another person's point of view, their emotions, their feelings, to sense how they feel. in order to be truly empathetic, to understand the other party, we have to think beyond ourselves and look at from their point of view. You can never see the pressure the other person is under, and the other person can't see the pain you're in. We should try to understand each other a little more. That's very important. Try to see the situation from the other person's point of view. Put yourself in their shoes and see things from their point of view. A little kindness and a little patience goes a long way. Remember that when you're dealing with your husband, wife, children, and your customers as well. Everyone we meet is fighting their own battle. Some you will never hear about. Practice the pause. Lawrence Richard said, before, pause, stop before assuming, stop before accusing, and stop when you are about to react harshly, because you might avoid things you may say, you may later regret. Once you have said, you cannot pull back. How many times have we hurt our loved ones because we say things that hurt them and later regret? Stop! Don't say first in the first place, and you save a lot of heartache. Learning summary. Let us learn what we have learned today. The emotional side of problem solving. Today we have got good understanding on emotional problem solving. We said that in order to solve problem at emotional level, we must be a good listener. We must listen with our ears, listen with our eyes, our brain, and our heart, so that we can uncover the true nature of the problem and help to solve it. Active listening is a technique that you and I must master. Problem solving to self-control. Control yourself! I'm not that one now. Hey, you think shouting can solve the problem? A good fighter, the best fighter, is never angry. You must be a good fighter, a good general. No matter how much is the irritating situation out, you control your feelings so that you can solve the problem rationally. Don't go for a shouting match. Don't resort to violence, because you will end up in jail. Remember, the best fighter is never angry. A great fighter, and you are a great fighter when you go to the war zone in the field, is one who can control his anger and make rational decisions in difficult times. Problem solving through positive language. Use positive language. Use words like please, thank you, I understand, I will do this, I will help you. These are positive language. I apologize. And more importantly, watch the tone of your voice. Did you order code red? Hey, talk nicely, can or not? Why you raise your voice? Irritating, you know. It's not what you say, it's how you say it that makes a difference. Problem solving through the use of empathetic skills. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. See things from their point of view. Sense the feelings that they are feeling. You can never see the pressure the other person is under, and the other person can't see the pain you're in. We should try to understand each other a little more. Try to see the situation from the other person's point of view. Put yourself in their shoes. All right, and a little kindness and patience goes a long way. The end. All right, thank you so much. All right, so now I hand the time back to my dear Yiming. Thank you, Yiming.
Okay, thank you, Harry. Thank you for sharing. Okay, thank you everyone for attending today's session. Okay, have a nice day, and we shall end the session now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.